Hello and welcome to another sports interview today. Today I have David Wilson, head coach of the men's basketball team. Coach, how you doing today?
Doing great. How you doing, Murph?
Doing all right, doing all right. Well, Coach, your team has gotten off to a pretty good start. You know, you're 10-5 in the regular season. You know, you really changed a lot since you first got here. You know, really changing the culture and really, developing a lot of players. Can you just tell me, about what it took to really get to this point for your basketball team?
Well, there's a lot of people who have been involved in the progress of our program. And I could go down a list and talk about a lot of different people, whether it's our alumni, faculty and staff members on campus who have really contributed. Staff members, our assistant coaches are outstanding, Coach Featherston and Coach Wolf, Chris Johnston, our trainer, Josh Bullock, our strength coach, and just so many people that have had a hand in trying to help to elevate our program. But obviously, the biggest factor is just our players. This is a really special group of young men. They're committed to doing things the right way. They're not perfect, but they want to do things right on and off the court. And I think that's the biggest reason we've been able to make progress as a program.
What do you think it is that's really, when I'm watching the basketball game, by the way, great win, last Saturday over the weekend, you really blew them out. They had a great player in Malcolm Clark for Shenandoah, and y'all really locked him down and kept him away from the rim. But, every time I watch, the basketball game, I really see, and even on campus, I see the basketball team as a unit. And they're always together. They're always joking around with each other, always there for each other. How do you think that translates onto the basketball court?
It's vital. It's vital. You have to have, a key word in our program each year has been the word committed. And that's committed to a lot of things. We want to be committed to doing things right in the classroom, on campus, on the court. We want to be committed to the work ethic that it takes to be successful. But you can't have a successful team if you aren't committed to each other. And I think recruiting has been a big part of that. We have some great young men in our program who just have high character and they're unselfish guys. And it's a little easier for them than most teams I've been around to commit to each other through the hard times and the good times. And it's been a vital part of our team's progress.
Now, you talk about commitment. What's different about this year when you talk about commitment than it was in the previous years?
Well, there's a lot of similarities, but I think when you get to a point where people expect you to win games, people expect you to compete for a championship, it becomes harder sometimes to just focus on the day-to-day process. And so we talk about that all the time with our team. Don't get wrapped up in other people's expectations. Let's make sure that when it comes to our commitment level, our commitment is on our expectations. And those expectations have a lot more to do with what we're doing day to day, on and off the floor. And if we take care of business at a high level when it comes to the day-to-day expectations, the results we believe will take care of themselves.
What's the main thing that you try to emphasize during practice when you're on the court and when you're preparing for a team in any team in the ODAC or any team in general?
Well, every practice is different. The day before a game is going to be a lot more focused on our opponent and, putting our game plan in and making the adjustments that we need to make. Other practices that might not be as close to the games are going to be more about us. They're going to be more competitive and just working on our principles on both ends of the floor. But I think if there's a general theme that we're constantly emphasizing, it's focus and energy. Focus and energy. And if we're bringing that to every single practice, then we're going to be able to get a lot done that day.
We talk about, I think one thing that is always important in sports, whether it be basketball, football, or anything, is leadership. How has the senior leadership or leadership in general really helped this team grow to where it is right now?
Well, I'll start by saying we have a lot of guys with leadership capabilities on our team through all classes. And, just because you're not a captain doesn't mean you can't have an impact on your team from a leadership standpoint in a lot of different ways. I'm proud of a lot of different guys for stepping up and taking leadership roles at different points in the season. But I would highlight our captains, Miles Turner and Ryan Gravely. Special guys. And just what they've been through through their 4 years, their resilience, their commitment when things were not going well, is what is really special to me about them, among other things. They have been steady through a lot of storms, and they've continued to provide great leadership for our team throughout this season as well. And as you mentioned, it's kind of a different situation now. Now we're expected to win. And so there's different challenges that they're dealing with in terms of helping to keep the guys focused, helping guys work through different types of issues that maybe we didn't work through in the past as much. But they've done an outstanding job with that, and I'm really proud of them.
You talk about, expectation, being expected to win. Last season you kind of, came up by surprise, and you really shocked a lot of people, not just in the ODAC, but throughout the entire Division III basketball scene. What do you think you need to do in order to reach those goals of having a successful season and ultimately winning the ODAC championship and making it to the Division III tournament?
Well, I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but it's all about the day-to-day. Yeah. You have to take care of that day. So today our team has practice, and that practice is going to have a lot of things that will help us be mentally prepared for the game tomorrow. So we can't play the game today. All we can do is practice. And so our guys have to make sure that they're doing a great job in class today and taking care of everything on campus today, and lifting our values high as a team. But then it's time to step on the floor and practice, and all we can do is make sure we have the best practice we can possibly have. And if we have that mentality and we're taking care of the things that we need to take care of each day, that's all you can do. And you just hope that the results will take care of themselves.
Well, last question that I have for you here. Just overall, what do you think, what is the game plan for this upcoming game tomorrow?
Yeah, it'll be a challenging one and an exciting one for us. Guilford is currently number one in our conference. They're top 4 or 5 in a number of defensive categories nationally. So you could argue they're the best defensive team in the country, or at least one of them. And so we're going to have to execute offensively at a really high level to be able to put points up on the board. And then defensively, they really attack the basket well. And they have a few guys that we're going to have to mark out on the perimeter as shooters, but we're going to have to do a good job of protecting the paint against these guys. So it's going to be a really physical game. It's going to be a high-level ODAC game, and I think it'll be a great environment, too. We're really excited about having our students back on campus and having a good crowd in the King Center.
Well, Coach, I wish you the best of luck on Wednesday, and really happy to see where the basketball team is right now.
Thanks, Murph.
We will now send it over to Andrew McClung for the Sports Update.